welcome to this episode of the Rogers Radio Podcast. I am your host, Alyssa Rogers, and as you can see, we have a familiar face on the podcast today. I think this is your third time.
Something like that, second or third.
Yes, we have Mr. Eric Thomas here with Rival Digital. He drove all the way here from Chesapeake, Virginia today to be with Rogers and go over our 2024 annual plan on the marketing side.
It's going to be a big year.
It's going to be a huge year. You guys, we have come up with some amazing things that we're going to be doing in 2024. And I know I see a lot of you out in the community and you talk to me about the podcast. And a lot of you also talk to me about the Rogers marketing and how we do what we do. We couldn't do what we do without the support of great agencies that make a lot of it happen. Eric, if you're a longtime listener, Eric is the reason that we're sitting here today doing this podcast, because he's the one that kind of pushed me over the edge to say, you're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's really the reason that, we have the Rogers Radio Podcast and it shows up for you. And then, of course, taking it to the next step and having Kenny behind the camera, making it look great and sound great and bringing the video side of it to you every week. So let's talk a little bit for the listeners that may have not have heard the episodes prior, just a high level of kind of how we got connected.
Yeah. Well, I also want to give a shout out to Ariella, who's probably listening to this right now, editing it, and she's just like, oh, where's my shout out? There's your shout out, Ariella. We appreciate you.
Yes, we do appreciate you because I said things at the last minute a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We got connected a while back. I don't know if we want to share. I don't know if I shared it last time or not, but originally we were meeting with Rogers to work on some website and some digital marketing stuff, and we were sadly rejected.
Yeah.
Cue the sad music. Then about a year later, we got reconnected, and she was like, all right, let's talk. So then, that's when we started working together. That was 2021?
Yeah.
2021, 2022, we started working together?
22 maybe.
It was 22, yeah. It was like summer of 22, like June or July.
Yeah.
It was probably not but 4 or 5 months into working together when you were talking about starting a podcast. You just said you'd always wanted to do it. You had all the equipment. And we kind of just we didn't really give you a choice. We're just all right, you're starting it and here's the graphics and we're going to just start submitting it to the different streaming directories and and so had a great year. 2022, 2023 is a great year. I have a podcast, and this is way nicer than my podcast now. So kudos to you all, totally upgrading this and just making it such an awesome thing for your community. Yeah. I'm super excited for next year and all the big stuff in store for the podcast listeners and for your customers and for your team. It's going to be huge.
It is going to be huge. And like I said before, it is with the help of wonderful people like you. And having that support, I mean, seriously, you drove 3 hours to come spend the day with us with a newborn at home. So take us through that of kind of what it's like to run and own Rival Digital and be a first-time father.
Yeah, running a business with a newborn is not fun.
It's hard.
It's just not.
It's so hard.
It is not a good time, especially. So I'm sure there's plenty of moms and dads listening that could relate. Our baby, his name's Austin Joe, which is my grandparents, both of my grandpa's names. One's Austin, the other's Joe. So Austin Joe, we call him AJ, and he was super colicky. So just from the moment he was delivered until about 3-4 weeks ago, he just cried nonstop. So I'm at home, trying to help take care of my wife because she's taking care of the kid. I'm trying to keep the house running. I'm trying to keep the business running. He's crying. The dog's barking. Everything's breaking.
Yeah.
Everything is going wrong. Of course, I'm just kidding, but yeah, it was just definitely a huge learning curve because I was thinking going into it. I was like, we got this. Like, it's going to be so easy. He's going to be cute. He's going to sleep. And, I'll just hold him in my arms and do my work. And no, that was not the case. Like, he was very fussy. We had a hard time getting him to feed even. Like, we were trying different formulas. He was colicky, but he also had like really bad reflux. So like the formula we would give him, he'd like spit up and like have like real bad reflux. So it was definitely a challenge for sure, getting, adapted to it, and also making sure that like my team was taken care of and our clients were taken care of. But it all worked out in the end, and he's passed his colic, and he's all smiley and playful, and he's doing his tummy time and rolling around and making noise. He's awesome.
Well, I wouldn't have known you were going through all of that, but it is so true that you think you can do it all. Why did we do that? I remember being pregnant and I'm like, I guess we're just going to bring her to the office. Like, it'll be fine. Like, I'll answer the phone, do payroll, do all the things. I got this. And they get here and like, I have nothing. Yeah. I have no idea what I'm doing. So.
Yeah. I don't know why we think that. Maybe we're just stubborn.
Yeah.
I'm definitely stubborn. I'm like, I'll figure it out.
Because everyone around you is like, your life's about to change. Your life is about to change. It's like, I'm good.
Yeah, like even in the hospital, because I posted an image in our like client Facebook group, and I was like, he's here, he's healthy. Thank you everyone for thinking of us. And like 2 or 3 different people were like, yeah, get some sleep now while you can. And I was like, you're funny. That's just a joke that everyone makes. Like, that's not a real. Nah, like he was totally being serious, because like from the day we got home until, like I said, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, it was like, like every 30 minutes, an hour, just waking up. And yeah, I was thinking like, he'll just sleep in his crib. I had no clue.
Yes, it's a lot. And so kudos to you. And I'm sure so many listeners feel you right now and feel for you right now.
I mean, my wife's awesome. I mean, she totally held it down. Of course, like the motherly instincts kind of kicked in, and she just totally stepped up and crushed it. So I feel like I had it easy in hindsight, because I was just keeping the house cleaned up and keeping the bottles prepared and stuff. But yeah, it was definitely a learning curve. It still is, probably will be for the next 10 years. Yeah.
Forever. So you're getting through that. And I want to talk today about kind of how people can start marketing, because we have a lot of business owners that listen and they just don't even know where to start. And so give everyone some advice. Yeah.
So this was something we were talking about earlier when we were planning, is like, when it comes to marketing, like you almost earn the right to do different things. And so I think so many business owners, when they start off, they're like, I got to be doing social media, and I got to be in the newspaper, and I got to run TV ads, and I got to, sponsor the parade, and I got to get a website and do Google ads. Like, you're going to spread yourself so thin, and your budget's going to be allocated so just so spread out that none of it's going to work. So I think, just starting out, you need to really first understand this is so cliche, but what's your why? Like, why are you even in business? Write down the top 3 things that you are going to solve for everyone, because everyone's got 100 problems to face every single day. And your job as a business owner is to solve 3 or 4 of them, the best in the world. You got to be the best at 3 or 4 things. What are those 3 or 4 things? And what's your why? How can you do it better? Why are you doing it at all? Write that down and just start talking about it. Even, I don't know, for example, let's just say, what's a local business here?
Oh man, who should we use? Use Rogers.
Rogers. So Rogers does heating, cooling, plumbing. They do that really well. And electrical.
Yes.
So those are the problems that they can solve for your home. And if I was starting a full service HVAC, plumbing, electrical company today, I may not have a big marketing budget, but I know what I can do that might be better than someone else. And I'm just going to get on my Facebook. I'm going to reach out to every person I know in my contact list and my phone and be like, hey, just want to let you know, I offer HVAC, plumbing, electrical now. Here's why I'm doing this, because I feel like I can offer this X, Y, and Z. And if you want, I'll swing by and offer you a complimentary maintenance or whatever. Yeah. I would start first with my power base, the people I already know.
Yeah.
And then immediately say, and if you refer someone, you'll get a full year off of whatever. So leveraging their power base, because that costs you nothing. To reach out, pull out your phone. You probably have 600 contacts in there, and just start 10 a day, just pounding them. I would definitely take advantage of just like the free low-hanging stuff like Facebook, Google Business Profile. Like this stuff's free. Just set it up, start posting on it, ask your friends and families for reviews on it. That stuff's all free. So I would definitely take advantage of that free stuff first. And then also just clarifying your messaging, like from day one, just understanding, instead of just being another person, like there's so much noise on the internet. So you could go on the internet now and just be like, I do HVAC, I'm the best at it. So like 40 other people are saying that. But what if you said like, I do this 40% better than the rest and here's why. Like that is gonna be like, oh, that's different. And then the customer's gonna start thinking about, oh yeah, that happened to me when I used Joe Schmo, and it started doing this. And so if you can find that and find out why, you're gonna reach a smaller kind of target, but it's going to be a little bit more precise, and those people will resonate with it and give you a call.
That is great advice because, as we all know, Google runs the world nowadays, but there's so much more than just Google that you can do, especially when you're first starting out or you're just trying to get those clients in the door. It's really just going to the people that you know and knocking on doors and just letting people know that you're here.
Yeah.
And that is not a huge expense. And you can make so much traction that way. And we were talking about earlier how Rogers has gone through ebbs and flows of our marketing strategies. And we're going to start, getting really granular on what we're doing and how we're doing it and making sure that we're consistent in what we're doing. And so it really does. The world is always changing and strategies are always changing, and that's okay.
Oh, absolutely. And just like taking advantage of the free stuff, like Facebook community groups are huge. Like you could be in there, and don't just go in there and like sell your service, but just provide value to them. Like if you own a bakery, go in there and, I don't know, share like a recipe on something. Or if you have a flower shop, go in there and share facts about the different types of flowers that blossom during the spring and, that are good, the best flowers to purchase for your home in August that won't die in a week. Just providing value that way. It's about flowers, but you're not in there saying, hey, buy my flowers. Instead, you're in there like, hey, homeowners that love flowers, these are the best flowers to buy this month. Again, that Facebook group, probably 5, 6, 7,000 people in there. There might be 75 or 100 that are going to see that and be like, oh my gosh, yes, I always had this flower die in August when I buy it. These are the ones I'm supposed to be buying. That 75 to 100 are going to come buy from you now versus that 5,000 if you just throw that wide net out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we have kind of a special offer on this podcast. Should we announce it now?
I think we should, yeah.
Okay. So this does not have to be just the HVAC industry, or it's in like industry wide, whatever business that you're in or whatever business you're looking to start or whatever it may be. If you call our office, the Rogers Heating and Cooling office, and we'll put the number on the screen. If you call us, we will pick one winner, and Eric and myself will come to your business and give you some marketing advice, and he'll take a look at your website and figure out what you need to do to improve your website, and we'll get into the website part. And then I'll come in and we can create an entire marketing calendar for you so you know exactly what you need to be posting and what you need to be doing in your community to really make an impact. What do you think?
I think that sounds great.
Yeah. We'll spend an entire day there.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
Call Rogers.
Yes. And speaking of call Rogers, callrogers.com gets a ton of traction because of you, because you're the reason that our website looks as fantastic as it does. So when you have people come to you and they're looking for a website, kind of what do you take into consideration when you're creating one for each company that you work with? Because I know that you won't do the same one for everyone.
Yeah, everything has to be based on your goals as a business owner. So if your goals are to increase sales for this type of service, we might take that into consideration. But it's all going to be based on your goals. And I know like when we were originally meeting with you all, I'm sorry, we're in South Boston. I say when we were meeting with y'all,
y'all.
that's what was it? Is it Kayla? She's like, hey y'all. All right. So yeah, when we were meeting with y'all, it was like we wanted this to be like very like easy for anyone to use and know like what we do and how they can get it. Like how they can find a comfort club, how they can find financing, how they can find our specials, and just like, give us a call. It might be different. Other people, their goal for it might be to increase visibility for their blog or for their podcast, or maybe they just want it to be just e-commerce, just selling stuff online. So it might be, upfront more about that transaction. So it's got to start with the goals, for sure. And then also understanding your messaging for your business and for everything, so we can make sure that we communicate that, across the website. And then also just making sure that the user has a clear, understanding of like, what's that next step that they're supposed to do? Because you get on so many websites and you're just like, where do I go? So it needs to be very clear to them when they get there. It's like on Rogers, you get there, the first thing you see is schedule service. Like if you're a homeowner and you need your heating and air conditioning system fixed, that's what you all want them to be their next step. If you have the flower shop and you want someone to, let's say it's prom season and you're trying to increase sales for those, whatever they're called, the little flowers you wear, like maybe the first thing at the top there is reserve your boutonniere or whatever. Yeah, your corsage. Reserve your corsage now. So it has to be clear when the user gets there, like what's my next step? Because like this is just basic like human like fight or flight, just psychology, kind of how we're wired. Whenever we get into a room, and a lot of people don't know this, but when you do, your mind is figuring out where's the closest exit. No one knows that this is happening in the back of your brain. Like it's, when you get into a room, you're like, all right, there's a door right there. Like this is what's going through your mind. So when you get on a website, you're still in that fight or flight mode. Your mind's like, well, how do I get out of here? So if they get there and they don't know what that next step is, well, then they're just going to leave and go to the next person. So yeah, just, understanding your goals, understanding your messaging, and then making sure that the user has, a clear path to achieving what you want them to do.
And you can have all of these great things, but you got to have the people to support that. And if it is just you got to make sure you answer the phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So you have to have a lot of back end stuff too. So like everything that you see that Rogers has today, kind of like you were saying, you have to like earn certain areas of marketing. We didn't have all of this when we started. We had to work our way to having all of this, because the world today is, if you even go into a restaurant now, you have DoorDash, you have online ordering, you're in the restaurant, you have this mobile order, you have all of these different ways to communicate with businesses now. And 5 years ago, I don't know that Rogers would have been able to support the online, the this, the that, all of the things, because we just didn't have the capacity and the people in place to be able to answer the phone every time and really own those processes. So it's making sure that when you put things out there that you are actually giving the customer what they are needing.
Yeah, and you have to understand who your customer even is, and like where they shop and where they interact and where they live and play. Because if you're starting a business off and your customer shops at Belk, you don't want to be targeting what's the Belk's competitor, Macy's shoppers. I don't know. You might want to be targeting something similar to how a Belk shopper would buy. So you have to make sure you understand your customer, and you can't understand your customer until you understand yourself. So you have to first be like, why am I doing this? Okay, because I want to, achieve X, Y, and Z before I retire, before I sell the business. And I'm going to be doing that by providing these services for these types of people. And then go find those people, find out how they shop, and that's where you start.
Yeah. So you're running a business and you're helping so many others with their marketing and making sure that they stand out. Now that we're in the new year, what are your goals for 2024?
Oh, that's tough. So one of my big goals this year is delegation. It's something I've always struggled with, because I've always just been like, nope, I got this. Kind of going back to the whole baby thing, where I was just like, yep, I know what I'm doing. I got all this. I know it. So delegation for sure, like being able to like identify areas that are bogging me down and just like taking that hat off and giving it to someone is a huge goal of mine, because I will find myself overcommitting and then I get stuck working. I'm just like, oh, I'll do this for you, and then I'm the one doing it. So delegation. I know Ariel is listening right now. She's probably like, thank God, he's finally delegating stuff. So yeah, definitely delegation. I just also like, at home being more present when I get off work. I know that's something that I should always be striving to be better at, because we live in an age where you get home from work and then you get on TikTok. So trying to find a better balance there is a big goal of mine as well. And then outside of that, just trying to be grateful and just show gratitude for everything. I was extremely, I know we're future proofing this episode, so it's after the new year, but we're recording it today.
Yeah.
Today, when I was in your office, I was sitting there thinking, I was just like, wow, this is like 5 or 6 years ago. Like, this is what I wanted. And like, I'm sitting here now, I'm like, I get to help business owners with their marketing, and like, we get to plan, and I get to see those ideas come to life. And I'm like, this is what I wanted 5 years ago. And I feel like so many people, myself included, like we get caught up in like the problems of today, and we're just like, oh my God, today sucks.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, actually, like today is what I wanted 5 years ago. I wanted these problems, and now I have them, and now I'm like, oh, what's the next thing? So just trying to be a little bit more, just grateful for what I've got now.
Yeah. That's really powerful. And Eric, we've grown a lot since we've known each other. Like, we have grown as people, professionals, business owners. Like, I'm just thinking back to our first podcast episode together, and you talk about your thinking back, and now I am to kind of that first episode. I'm like, rate me, how am I doing? And then where we are today, I feel grateful to have you still sitting here and to be able to grow in 2024 with you guys by our side, because I trust you guys, and I know that it's going to be a fantastic year.
It's going to be, If you live in the area, you know who to call.
Yes. callrogers.com, and you will see Rival's amazing website that they put together for us. And, don't forget, like, we are serious. Call Rogers today and say, I want to talk to Alyssa about marketing. And the Opportunity Center will get your name, and they'll get your information. They'll give me your information, and we'll reach out and we'll talk to you about how we can make a visit to your company, or talk to you about starting your own company, whatever it may be. It does not matter what industry or what you want to do, and we will help you with your marketing plan, and that is for free.
Yeah.
For
free 99.
Free 99. So for real, take advantage of this. We're excited to talk to you and really get to know your business and your goals and what you want to achieve in 2024, and we want to be part of that. So you let us know how we can help you. And thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's been an awesome day, and I cannot wait for 2024.
I'm excited. Woo. Let's go.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Rogers Radio Podcast. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe so we can continue bringing you this awesome content. We will talk to you next week. Bye.